Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
It's definitely overwhelming. It's a real great feeling. Not even knowing that I had those type of people around me. And it's just it's a blessing.
Now on News 6, a family trying to recover after a truck slammed into their home. Why they are still thankful this Thanksgiving.
A big twist in the case against a suspended sheriff. His wife just changed her plea to guilty. What it could mean for the case against Marcos Lopez.
But we start now at 10 tonight with the city asking, what's next?
Before we go building more, let's figure out where the problem is, what the problem is.
After getting an earful from families fed up with flooding and blaming developers, a local mayor says a lawsuit they lost has actually led to a win. This is far from the first time we've talked about flooding in Edgewater and what to do about it. Good evening. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Edgewater city leaders tried and failed to stop Lennar Homes from moving forward with a huge development. Tonight, leaders met behind closed doors and then faced the people to discuss what's next after a judge ruled against them.
Right now, there are fewer than 100 homes in the parks at Edgewater. That's off Volco Road between I-95 and US 1. Lennar wants to build much bigger, but Edgewater's mayor told the crowd and News 6's Alex Cook the builder has agreed to scale back those plans somewhat.
Edgewater City Council voted unanimously tonight to accept the plea deal offered by Lennar, the construction company that the city had sued to keep new homes from being built here, which they say adds to the flooding problems. Now, even though the city lost the lawsuit, they say they got what they wanted, a scaled-back project and more flood control measures.
And there's 4 feet of water in front of my house, and that 2 rainstorms ago.
Right.
So it's one of those, let's figure it out. And before we go building more, let's figure out where the problem is, what the problem is, how to fix it.
Joe Ryan is one of the Edgewater residents worried about new homes going up in flood-prone areas. Tonight, the city council announced their plan after settling a lawsuit with developer Lennar. The city had tried to stop the construction of hundreds of new homes, but was forced to settle with the company.
What we've seen tonight was a win. All we wanted to begin with was for them to add more stormwater and more retention areas, and that's exactly what they're doing. So I think we can comfortably say that the residents around that area won.
The city is calling Lennar's scaled-back plan a victory. Fewer homes and better flood control. But these changes were already in the works before the lawsuit. Mayor Diesel Depew and council members blamed City Attorney Aaron Wolf for not presenting testimony from residents in the lawsuit because they weren't deemed experts.
He came back and said, well, those people weren't, experts. I'm not an expert mayor. I don't think anybody is an expert in what they've been doing until they retire.
And you feel good about how they've downscaled it?
I feel very good that they're backscaling, that they're willing to work with us. And honestly, we never would have got to this point if they would have just told us that that's what they were going to do from the beginning.
How do we hold them accountable? If it floods, if all this happens, how do we hold them accountable?
And your concern is accountability. Are you comfortable that they're going to have that now?
Yes. No, but I think we got time to work on it.
In Edgewater, Alex Cook, News 6.
New at 10 tonight, a family in the city of Palm Bay is feeling grateful for an entirely different reason this holiday season after a truck hit their home they were renting. News 6's Tylisa Hampton spoke with the family about how they're trying to recover.
This family tells me that they're grateful that none of them were hurt, and they also say that they're thankful to the community because they've been getting a ton of support from them. A family of 6 in Palm Bay says they're thankful they still have each other this holiday season. Luke Saunders says his wife Frances and 2 sons were not hurt after a truck hit the home they were renting last week.
They were scared, it was a scary situation.
How thankful were you that they weren't hurt?
Man, that's pretty much all I care about. Everybody got out safe. He was safe. No, nobody was hurt.
Palm Bay police say the crash happened when an elderly neighbor accidentally pushed down on the gas and hit the home. However, Saunders is looking at what matters most.
Things could be replaced, people can't, and it's just, the timing, over the holidays, placing the family somewhere. But, God is good. Everything will be all right.
With his family now in an Airbnb, for Saunders, it's still a season of gratefulness because of the support from the community.
Red Cross came through, people from the community, my daughter's school.
Each lending a hand, which for him is a reason to give thanks.
It's definitely overwhelming. It's a really great feeling. Not even knowing that I had those type of people around me. And it's just it's a blessing.
And the Palm Bay Police says no arrests were made in this case and it is closed. And this family, they say they're just thankful that none of them were hurt. Reporting, I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton.
A new twist in a scandal that has shaken up the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Tonight, News 6 has confirmed the estranged wife of suspended Sheriff Marcos Lopez is now pleading guilty to some charges connected to an illegal gambling operation. That leaves her husband as the last big defendant awaiting trial. News 6's Mike Valente is looking into the deal Robin Severance Lopez reached with prosecutors.
Robin Severance Lopez will avoid jail time by making this deal, pleading guilty to 2 charges that are less severe than what she was originally facing. You remember, Severance Lopez was one of several people charged alongside Marcos Lopez, accused of taking part in an illegal gambling enterprise that prosecutors say racked up millions of dollars. She was originally charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit racketeering, and then prosecutors tacked on another charge accusing her of lying on a bail application. Well, her criminal docket in Lake County shows that Severance Lopez has pleaded guilty to that bail modification charge and to money laundering, now facing 24 months of probation. There's also an important note in her docket. It says that the judge here is withholding adjudication. Under Florida law, that means that Severance Lopez is guilty, but was not formally convicted. So once her probation is complete, that 24 months, she will not be considered a felon. Severance Lopez was slated to go on trial next month. 3 of her co-defendants had already pleaded guilty. Now Marcos Lopez stands as the sole remaining defendant. He won't go on trial until at least next year. I've reached out to Severance Lopez's attorney for comment, and I'm waiting to hear back. Now there's another person linked to this case who pleaded guilty today. His name is Krishna Deokaran, pleaded guilty to money laundering. In a filing last week, prosecutors told the court that Deokaran was prepared to testify for the state, that he provided a payment from the casino proceeds to Severance Lopez, telling her, quote, "This is for markup."
Now, to keep up with all the latest breaking updates, you can download our News 6 app. It's free. Search WKMG in your app store.
Another big story this week and every Thanksgiving week, Orlando International Airport is gearing up to handle just shy of 2 million passengers coming and going this week. The busiest day, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, when more than 177,000 people head to the airport. You do not want to be there for that. With the shutdown a memory, flights are back to normal, but MCO is encouraging you to plan ahead for parking.
I was really concerned about traveling this Thanksgiving week, which is why we came the week before.
Good call. The airport's encouraging you to follow the 3-2-1 rule. Get there 3 hours early before international flights, 2 hours for domestic, and be at your gate 1 hour before boarding.
All right, perfect weather right now for travel, but a cold front is coming in. So let's take a look at Mount Dora, where it's always beautiful any time of day.
There's a great Christmas store around there.
Oh,
Mount
I've been.
Dora. I know you have. Let's get you right to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Maybe once we get through Thanksgiving, it'll start to feel a little more wintry, huh, Jonathan?
I think it will. We will see it feeling a little festive. I was caught off guard by the backside of the Nutcracker there in the Mount Dora can. We have a great shot of that, and I guess we're going to have that for the next, 30 some odd days until Christmas. Ground stop in Houston due to some thunderstorms. That's the only spot here that we're finding any kind of big time delays at the airport. There could be individual airline delays, of course, but certainly from an airport perspective, we are looking good. A couple of systems we're tracking right there. The thunderstorm is moving through Houston right now. Here's the secondary system, and that is the front that's pushing through the Intermountain West, parts of Montana, Wyoming. That arrives during the day on Thanksgiving. They take temperatures from the mid-80s, near record warmth on Wednesday, back to the 70s on Thursday, and I think we're going to see clouds. So I think Thanksgiving is going to look a little bit different and feel a little bit different than compared to the last 7 to 10 days if you've been around the Central Florida area. We will talk much more about how we get to this point, guys, coming up at about 10:19.
Jonathan, thank you. In Volusia County, 3 teens were arrested after the Volusia Sheriff's Office said they tried kicking in the door of a woman's home on Sunday.
And next thing you know, I hear like somebody,
bang, bang, bang.
And I heard it rattle like it almost came off, like you hear it rock as metal. And it's like the whole house shook.
Deltona has had an issue in the past with kids kicking indoors as a part of a viral TikTok challenge. Back in August, 3 kids kicked the door of a home on Loblolly Street. The teens in this most recent case are charged with felony attempted burglary. The sheriff's office says it's not ding-dong ditch if you're kicking indoors.
2 more protesters have been arrested after they were accused of covering the Pulse nightclub crosswalk in chalk. They were charged yesterday with a felony-level criminal mischief, interfering with a traffic control device, which is a crosswalk. The judge in these cases did not find probable cause for the felony criminal mischief charge, but did find cause for lesser misdemeanor charges. Both were granted release on their own recognizance.
Well, tonight, NASA and Boeing have big news about the troubled Starliner space taxi.
Yeah, you know, the one that left 2 astronauts stuck on the ISS. All new in minutes, how soon Starliner could fly again from the Space Coast, and how NASA is rewriting its several billion-dollar deal with Boeing.
First, though, a judge says Florida's first bear hunt in a decade is on. Next, how animal activists are still trying to fight back, 1 bear and 1 hunting permit at a time.
There's no words to describe it. Just the sharing, the joy, being with family, being with friends.
She is one of many giving thanks as the Orlando City Lions pack their stadium full with turkey dinners instead of sports fans.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Monday night. We're covering Oviedo, Palm Bay, and all of Central Florida. Now on News 6, whether you like or hate the idea, Florida's first bear hunt in a decade will start as scheduled in just over 11 days.
Late today, a judge turned down a conservation group's push to halt the hunt, but activists are also trying another tactic.
FWC awarded 172 hunting permits through a lottery. Each one allows a hunter to kill 1 bear. Bear lovers, they also entered, hoping to win permits they never planned to use.
So how many bears could that protect? Catherine Silver is looking through new data obtained by News 6.
At front doors and in driveways. We've shown you a bear crossing I-4, and even the sighting here at News 6.
It's no surprise we live with bears all around Florida, and starting December 6th, the state will have its first hunt since 2015. As we get closer to the actual hunt, we wanted to see who applied, how many times, and who actually got permits.
Our questions were answered through a records request to FWC.
These are the people who actually have the bear licenses that were approved.
I sat down with News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie to dig through the data. Thousands of names were on 2 lists. one of established hunters with licenses and one with just the bear permit applicants.
Hunting licenses, over 318,000. Bear license applications, 19,000. And how many bear applications were approved?
172.
We had 128 people that matched from those two lists, which left us with 44 people who only were approved for a bear license.
It's more likely that those 44 might have permits that perhaps will go unused.
Advocates against the hunt have snagged dozens of permits,
which will reduce the number of bears killed down to about 120 or less.
Chuck O'Neill with Speak Up for Wildlife.
Did you enter?
Oh yeah, big time.
How many times?
About 251. There are people who bought one ticket and won. There are people who bought 2 tickets, 5 tickets, and won. So, you can improve your odds, but you can never outwit Lady Luck.
The records we received show that 4 people applied 400 times, the most out of all of the applicants. Out of those 4 people, 3 of them did in fact get permits. In the newsroom, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
New at 10 tonight, we now know when Boeing's Starliner capsule could fly again. In an update today, NASA announced the new test is aiming for April of next year.
Starliner is meant to be a space taxi for astronauts, but only cargo will be on this next flight. You'll remember the first crewed launch didn't go as planned in June of last year, thanks to thruster problems and helium leaks. Instead of 2 weeks in space, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams stayed on the ISS for 286 days. Boeing teams have been working since to get the bugs out, but NASA wants to test those changes with a cargo launch. If all goes well, Starliner could fly with astronauts later next year. NASA originally agreed to pay Boeing for 6 crewed flights, but with the ISS program nearing an end, NASA will now only pay for 3 more crewed Starliner flights through 2030, when the ISS is due to retire. Boeing's rival, the SpaceX Dragon, has already ferried 12 crews to the ISS since 2020.
Well, with inflation still high, groups across Central Florida are stepping up to help make sure every family has a happy Thanksgiving.
News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez was there as one group reached out to the community it calls home to give them turkeys and all the fixins.
Instead of hundreds of soccer fans, the stadium was full to the brim with food and people in need of a helping hand.
These are families who are struggling each and every day to provide even their basic needs.
The 10th annual Orlando City and Orlando Pride Turkey Giveaway saw thousands come in to get ingredients they might not be able to afford themselves.
Things have been hard. This is probably my 5th event, and I've got a couple more. I've heard families coming out at 4 o'clock in the morning to stand in line, so the need is here, and I'm just glad and grateful to serve.
Families were given all of the items that they need to have a happy Thanksgiving, from the sides to the turkey, even the roasting pan needed to cook the bird in.
And then they're getting all the vegetables and stuffing and mashed potatoes and everything else that goes with what we have as a typical Thanksgiving meal. We're also having culturally appropriate meals too, so there are rice in the boxes. Not everybody likes potatoes, and we also are providing a gift card. If you don't like turkey, you can go buy your own protein.
For Orlando's soccer teams, it's a way to give back to the community they call home.
So as you can see from the amount of volunteers we have, our staff looks forward to this every day, every year, and it's one of the best events that we do.
I spoke to people getting the meals about what it means to them to know they'll be able to break bread with their loved ones this Thanksgiving because of this.
There's no words to describe it. Just the sharing, the joy, being with family, being with friends.
Thank you. In Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
No doubt there will be some people camped out overnight for another Thanksgiving tradition. The Pendas Law Firm will hold its 17th annual turkey giveaway at the law firm on East Colonial Drive near Mills. It begins at 8:30 in the morning. Turkeys are first come, first served. The Pendas firm started in Orlando. It held similar giveaways at its other offices around the state.
Well, hey, with your help, we're getting results this holiday season, too, for 6,000 kids and seniors in Central Florida.
Yeah, we have partnered with BFAR Contracting for the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Right. More on that later. At last check, 3,145 angels have been adopted.
So that means there are still more than 2,300 looking for a Merry Christmas. You can adopt angels at the mall at Millennia and select Chick-fil-A's. You can also adopt online. take out your phone, scan the QR code that was supposed to be on your
I'm
screen
going to
right
scan
now.
Jonathan Kegas instead.
I don't think that's going to work. Jonathan Kegas has been a little heated lately because people online have been telling some fibs.
Not people, trolls. Let's just call them what they are.
Yeah, you know, a lot of coal in stockings this year, guys, for those scam pages. I just called them on Facebook. All the models have no tropical development. If you're unclear what I'm talking about, people widespread post models this weekend that said there was a hurricane coming to Florida the first week of December. It's not happening. All the models have, by the way, dropped it out since. Daytona Beach, we're looking pretty good tonight as we are getting ready for Thanksgiving and to close out hurricane season. We're back to the upper 60s under a clear sky. Watch out for some patchy fog to develop tonight. Under light winds and clear skies this evening. We have air temperatures in the mid 60s in Sanford. Mount Dora, we are at 65. We're at Melbourne, we're at 68 degrees. Now, tomorrow morning, we're going to start things off in the low to mid 60s, a couple of notches above where we should be for this time of the year. And I think we gradually warm things up further into Wednesday morning before we start to see the drop during the day on Thanksgiving. Clouds and rain forecast for the rest of tonight. Anywhere you see the white little blotches, that's where some fog tries to develop. So there we go, 4 or 5 o'clock, and you see some of that fog coming back into play again tomorrow morning. This white you see on the screen now, that's some of those higher thin clouds that we've been accustomed to for the last 7 to 10 days across central Florida. No rainfall going to be expected with those ones. Once we get into Wednesday, stray downpour is going to be possible. That's because a cold front is approaching central Florida. High temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 80s. DeLand will be at 83. Bushnell, we're at 84. Wildwood, we are also at 83 degrees. Then the changes come on Thanksgiving. That's going to be the transition day to a pretty chilly Black Friday. Front comes through during the day. Rain chances not high at all, only about 20%. Turkey trots in the morning. Might have to dodge a stray sprinkle or a light shower passing by. These are going to be few and far between. Quick hitting. I do think we keep the clouds, though, for the bulk of the day. So I think Thanksgiving is going to look and feel a little bit different. Again, high temperatures getting back into the low to maybe middle 70s. I think most of us are in the low 70s. So we're going to shave off about 10 to 15 degrees from where we will be on Wednesday. It's all because of this front. There's Wednesday afternoon, a couple of showers possible. Notice, though, for Thanksgiving, that front really loses a lot of its punch in terms of the rainfall. That's 10 o'clock in the morning, just a few showers possible. I think we stay stuck in the clouds. That white and gray on the screen represents the cloud cover. Note the time, that's to 11 o'clock on Thursday. And then you see us clear out for Friday as some of that cooler and drier air tries to blast right on through and into central Florida. So here we go, kind of a topsy-turvy roller coaster here. Wednesday back to the mid-80s for highs. We'll be pushing record high temperatures, and then that front comes through. High temperatures only in the low to mid-70s. Rain chances on Thanksgiving Day, 20% for the first half of the day, and then I think we stay stuck under a mainly cloudy sky. Festive on Friday. Most of us are waking up to 40s. We'll be in the mid-60s for highs. Sunshine will be dominant. Hot chocolate and decorating, guys. I know you guys are already well underway with that stuff.
All done at the Austin house, buddy. We're just going to do the hot chocolate. Well, a local man got a phone call promising to erase his traffic ticket, but ultimately cost him hundreds of dollars.
In this week's Schemes and Ripoffs Alert, investigator Lewis Bolden uncovers how the scheme works and what you need to know to protect yourself. That's next.
Did you ever think this could happen from a fender bender?
No.
Damian Shellberger was in a minor crash in his Chevy Silverado. He was ticketed, and even though the damage was minimal, the phone call that came about a week later was costly.
This is Sergeant Anderson with the Volusia County Courthouse and Civil Processing Division. I'm calling in regards to a citation we have here for Mr. Shellberger.
So this person had all of the information.
The price of the ticket, he knew everything. And it made me feel that it was true.
This is in regards to that citation for a failure to use due care, sir.
What normal person can know all this information?
Here's how. After you get a traffic ticket, it goes from the law enforcement agency that issued it to the county clerk of the court's office. Once it gets to the clerk's office, it becomes a public record. And all of the details of the ticket, the date, the vehicle type, are online for anyone to access, even criminals. Shellberger was told he could pay using a payment app.
I would have to pay through one of those, and I can get the ticket removed, no points, no nothing. It'd just pay the ticket.
He sent the money via Apple Pay. The crook said they didn't get it, so he sent it twice and was out of $332.
I don't want something like this to happen to somebody else.
This is actually a new twist on a familiar scheme.
He told me that I had a $20,000 bond and I was able to pay 10% of it over the phone through Zelle.
Back in May and July, News 6 told you about the jury duty scam.
Every week, criminals claiming to work for the court system or law enforcement call our residents threatening to arrest them for missing jury duty.
So many people are getting the calls and losing money that it prompted Orange County Sheriff John Mina, Clerk of Courts Tiffany Moore Russell, and Chief Judge Lisa Munyon to produce this public service announcement warning the public.
This is a scam.
The clerk's office will never contact you by phone or email, demanding money or personal information.
Shellberger wants others to beware of the latest evolution.
Because if I can get scammed that easy, somebody else can.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It is free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. We'll see you at 11 o'clock.